Good evening, everyone. We interrupt our daily news segment to speak with scientists Saba, Alex, Anna, and Marielle, who are currently live from Mars. They have the challenge of advising President Tekin and Director Packham on the decision of whether or not to bring microbial life back home to Earth. Now, what does this mean for us back home? What ethics and morals surround the travel of extraterrestrial life? And how will this benefit the current mission of analyzing life forms on Mars? I will now hand it over to Alex, who will introduce the current challenges they are facing on Mars. Alex?
Hello everybody, my name is Alex, and this is the Blue Team's mission update number 2. So far, we have already landed on the Mars plains and found evidence of microbial life. For a more complete understanding of this life, it must be transported back to a more sophisticated lab on or near Earth. However, this life is very delicate, and it is not guaranteed that they will survive the journey back to Mars. In this update, we address whether or not we should be taking these samples back to Earth, and if yes, if we should do it now or wait for more advanced transportation in the future. We address some of the technology used in the mission as well as the ethical decisions that need to be made.
Thank you so much for that, Alex. Now, what are your views on the philosophical and ethical sides of this, Mario?
So yes, utilizing utilitarianism and considering a more humanistic approach with respect to the current situation of the mission to Mars, the most logical and sensible option is to bring that microbial life to Earth. More precisely, utilitarianism maintains the idea that the most ethical choice results in the outcome that produces the greatest balance of benefits over harms for everyone affected. So if one were to evaluate and compare the amount of good that would result from waiting for more resources that contain improved life support systems, or returning to Earth with the extraterrestrial microbial life for further testing, it is ethically sound to choose the latter because waiting even longer will only endanger the lives for the astronauts. Moreover, considering that the Mi-6Ks were chosen to be powered down in the last mission update to preserve the human lives of the astronauts, they have already experienced delays in their operation, and taking into account the fact that they were only equipped with a specific amount of resources, the astronauts may not have the means to last until the arrival of the better spacecraft. Therefore, similar to the last mission update, it is necessary to preserve the irreplaceable human lives of the astronauts that may have family and friends waiting for their safe return home by bringing the microbial life to Earth now rather than later.
Absolutely. We completely agree with you back here in the studio, Marielle. So thank you so much for that. And now we're going to talk a little further about these implications with Anna. Anna, please.
So not only are we concerned for the safety of the astronauts, but also the lives of the billions of people back on Earth that are waiting for a solution to this world crisis. By waiting for another spacecraft with better technology to come by, we are delaying our chance of finding a solution. Overall, returning with the microbial life is the best choice. It should also be considered that microbial life as we know it is not sentient. A sentient being can be defined as one with the capacity to have feelings, which requires a certain level of awareness. Being that it isn't sentient, it doesn't seem as cruel to remove it from its home environment. The microbe cannot know how, where, or that it even is being moved. Ethically, we can use this logic to justify that we are using these non-sentient beings to save the lives of billions of sentient creatures on Earth. And it won't just be for the humans, but all the animals and even plant life on Earth. There is some concern about the microbe's survival on the journey to Earth and their survival on Earth, but we have so much technology and different techniques to keep our microbes on Earth alive and flourishing. So why would we not be able to replicate that for Martian microbes? We understand the conditions that they're under because we understand Mars and its environment, and therefore we should be able to mimic it for microbes while they are headed back to Earth.
Awesome. That's extremely fascinating and great points of trying to bring the microbes back. But speaking further on that about microbes and sentiency and all that, we're going to bring it now to Saba. So Saba, can you please speak a little bit more on that?
All right, so one of the more exciting parts of this mission, other than, of course, being on Mars, is our discovery that the Martian microbes exploit the dryness of the planet. Now, this is a key finding since water is currently scarce on Earth, and the use of technologies like CRISPR would allow us to modify genes and, in this case, splice and introduce genes to other organisms. And the use of this technology in this way would really be monumental. Scientists like Dr. Moisel Eichinger from the University of Graz in Austria even expects that microbes found on Mars could possibly already be adapted to life on Earth. Her theory mainly comes from the fact that extreme environments comes from the fact that bacteria already live in extreme environments, so they could possibly be adapted to an environment like the one that we have on Earth. Another part of her theory is the fact that the microbes' dependence would most likely be on carbon-based compounds or organic matter, and those are the basic building blocks of life here on Earth anyway, so they would have access to that. Now, we already touched base with what we believe are the ethics of working with microbial life from another planet, but the main idea that we kept coming back to while we were talking about this as a team was respect. We believe as long as we treat the microbes to the best of our knowledge in a capacity that would keep them alive, and this would mean using all of our current technology like incubators and the most up-to-date cell culture techniques to keep the microbes in an environment similar to that of Mars, that we would be meeting the level of respect that one would expect one living organism to give to another.
In conclusion, there are a lot of factors and ethics that come into play in our decision making. We are looking out for the best interests of the life we are trying to preserve, which is the human race. The mission is to analyze the microbial life that we find on Mars, and we believe our technology back home on Earth will help us achieve these goals. Considering the amount of resources it took for us to get out to Mars already, and for the sake of our mission's success, traveling back to Earth with our extraterrestrial microbial life is key to the success of the mission. After all, we are unsure if another opportunity like this will present itself. With much respect and generosity, we will travel back home to Earth with the microbial life from Mars to perform further studies on it. Amazing. Thank you so much. I want to take the time to thank you, girls, Alex, Marielle, and Anna, you guys, and Saba, of course. I'm sorry. I want to thank you guys so much for speaking to us about that. We're no scientists like you guys, so we wish you guys the best of luck on your current mission on Mars, and we hope that you guys have a safe return back home here to Earth. And now we're going to continue on with the weather.